This is an NBC 10 News podcast. Thank you for turning to 10, your news leader. 10 News Conference with Gene Valicenti continues right now.
Welcome back. My guest in studio is Rhode Island's new Republican Party Chairman, Allyn Meyers. Well, Allyn, welcome in.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
What did you do in the past life that you've been saddled with this burden as a Republican Party Chairman in Rhode Island?
Well, I own an IT business. I've owned a business for 30 years. I also was a 5-term AFSCME president, local president, for years.
That's a union.
Yeah. State Workers Union, right. And prior to this position, I was the chair of chairs, which basically runs the chairs, the committees across the state. And we've been spending the last 3 years building out our ground trick game.
Yep. So. But my sarcasm was, what have you done to deserve this burden?
I understand.
You know, we could put them all in the phone booth. No. It's a blue state. Go ahead.
Well, it's been a blue state since 1935. But it's a heavy lift. It's a heavy lift. It's not because of ideas. It's because of the machinery that's put place. And so we have a lot to overcome there. For the last 3 years, I've been working building town committees. So we have boots on the ground, and we have communications that come directly from the party out to the masses. And we've done a pretty good job. We've only got a couple of towns that don't have organized things that aren't meeting every single month.
Well, you know, I remember then Senator Chafee, the father, had an appearance with Lincoln Almond, the then governor, and they were talking about rebuilding the Republican Party that far back.
Yeah.
And this has got to stop. It's the same old story, decade to decade now. What is it?
I think they may have missed the mark in realizing that the party is only as strong as your boots on the ground in the local committees. And my only focus for 3 years has been building the town committees, building that presence in every single town, knowing the local issues, knowing the local things that make those, what makes those cities and towns tick. And so we have that. We've always had kind of a vacuous party in the middle. Then we have our elected officials. To me, I was a system analyst by nature and by profession, and I also noticed that that was that link that was missing. Getting those town committees in sync with the party, in sync with our elected officials, that was the magic. And so we're working it hard. We've done pretty well in the last 60 days. Social media, we've actually taken up out of control. We've had over, I think, 1.2 million engagements in 60 days. We haven't done that in 12 years combined.
So it's good. So you were a union person.
I was union president.
Union leader. Which seems at odds with a Republican. At least let's go to the narrative. The unions are with the Democrats.
I've been a registered Republican since I was 18 years old. And in the local union politics, it's the person who runs the union and does the best for the people. And in my situation, it was a little different. We had, government contracts. They tend to be more on in Massachusetts. It was Massachusetts Council 93. It's a little different dynamic. So as a leader and doing the best for your people always kept you very, very popular, regardless of your politics. We never really spent an awful lot of time involving ourselves in politics. I really spent most of the time just organizing and building the base of employees to help them out.
President Trump made some progress with some of the unions. He had a union leader famously appear at the Republican
I was there.
National Convention for that. And I bet if you go and look at, you broke down the data, probably a lot of union members voted for him, even though the leadership would say, well, lockstep Democrat.
Right.
Is that a phenomenon? What is that?
No. I mean, I found that, or at least I find that a lot of union people vote Republican. They just can't talk about it.
Well, why is that?
Well, it's because
are they so smothered by social media, political correctness? Why is that?
No. The unions themselves, they do lock down on that kind of thing. They tell people they have to go show up and hold a sign for somebody. It's been going back 30 years, 40 years, maybe 100 years.
Go along to get along. Right? Don't want to make any trouble.
But I wondered why they took away the curtains from the voting booths. Remember back in the day that we had those curtains? And now we don't have those curtains. In the past, I always used to tell people, when that curtain closes, you vote your conscience, not your party.
Well, now we have plastic barriers. I don't know.
Sure they do.
You'd have to go like that to see if somebody's voting. So you think a lot of union members vote Republican, and they just don't tell you about it.
They're workers. They're workers.
And how about, we have some towns in Rhode Island, Johnston, North Providence, Cranston's got a Republican mayor. These are old Democrat strongholds, but Republican Roosevelt/Kennedy strongholds. Is that fertile ground for you?
Well, it is.
North Providence, Johnston, Democrats, but who might go your way?
North Providence has been a problem because of the machine that's there from Dominic Ruggiero. So that's been tough. That's one places we don't have a town committee.
Mayor Lombardi's a Trump supporter. It came out and said that.
And yet, every time you try to get a Republican city or town committee growing there, it just doesn't take place.
Yeah.
People actually act like they shouldn't be doing that. There'll be negative.
Go to Johnston.
Johnson has
Went for Trump, I think, twice.
Well, Johnson, we have a Representative Fascia. We have a great town chairman there and doing a great job. And so that is a good fertile ground for us. And of course, Cranston is pretty much Republican.
All right, stay with us. We're going to do one more segment with Allyn Meyers, the
Sure.
new Republican Party chairman. Welcome back to 10 News Conference. Allyn Meyers is the new Republican Party chairman in Rhode Island. Al, let's talk the governor's race. You have a candidate, Allyn Meyers.
Yes.
The past two polls that came out show him trailing by some distance. Is he your strongest candidate?
Well,
or maybe you're lucky to have somebody step in.
Well, it's tough for our statewide candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, you do need a machine to do that, and we're in the process of building that machine in Rhode Island. It takes time, as you would know.
Yeah.
It took 91 years to destroy it. I mean, it's going to take a little while to build it. But Allyn can be a very strong candidate. I look at what we have in the field here, and he did very, very well in 2022. He got 43%. I think it was 6 points higher than the gubernatorial candidate, and they were same ballot, same voters.
This is when he ran for lieutenant governor against Sabina Montos.
Yes.
Yeah. Is he going to have a primary? Now, there are some names floating out there. Is it Elaine Polino?
Polino from Smithfield.
Is her first name Elaine
Yes,
Polino?
Elaine, yeah.
You notice that I'm just barely familiar with her. Nobody's heard from her. But she runs a Facebook campaign, and there's some talk that Ashley Kalis may jump back in. Would you welcome Ashley Kalis back in? And you're going to have a primary with Polino.
Well, Ashley has found her new home as social influencer, it seems, that she posts quite every single day. She's posting something.
Yeah.
Sometimes
she's
good.
on the radio as you and I speak.
Yes, I know that. Right. I'm not sure if she wants to get back in the race.
Okay.
I don't know if she could take that $5 million hit again.
Well, she's got another $5 million, I imagine. Maybe another one after that. Would you welcome her and say, hey, come on in? Yeah.
Well, it depends if we have that discussion. I mean, she would have to want to do that. Yep. It's not something that would...
Have you had any discussions with her?
I talk to Ashley regularly.
And what does she tell? What's the latest she's told you?
She enjoys her life as an influencer.
Okay. Do you expect her to, as of today, right now?
As of today, no.
No. How about this Elaine Polino?
Elaine Polino, she's a woman from Smithfield.
Right.
I've talked to her a number of times. I wasn't there when she was discussed the possibility of running for governor, but right now she's only kind of a Facebook star, and I'm not sure where that's going. I'm not, our late primary and our late convention does not give us the opportunity to really flesh out candidates properly throughout the state before we have to make that decision. And I think that the SEC, the State Central Committee, makes those decisions. We does our endorsements, and then we'll have our primary.
Okay. Ken Block's running as independent. How would you advise Aaron Gukian to go after him?
Well,
you've already, by the way, answered this question as to whether Block is likable or not. You answered that on the radio.
Well, he answered that. I only quoted him.
He was answered. You're right. He was asked that directly and kind of sidestepped it, which I found unusual. I thought he might attack it if someone asks if you're likable.
I believe it was
of course say I am likable. But go ahead. Yeah. How would you advise Gukian to go after Block?
I would suggest that we talk about his record. He is not a person that the typical Republican would vote for with regards to his stances on various social issues and other things. I mean, he's a smart guy. Let's
well, he'll tell you that. What I've heard.
That's what I'm told. Yes, by him mostly. But he's a smart guy and has some keen insights. He and I were, like I said to you before, was aligned on the Washington Bridge debacle and a number of other things. So he's not a dummy. I mean, he's a smart guy. But he himself made reference to that likability factor and tends to sound very pompous in some of his things. But I mean, this is politics.
Yeah, it's the business we've chosen.
It's the business we've chosen.
Need a thick skin
That's right.
in politics. Let's go to how would you advise Aaron Gukian to go after Governor McKee?
Well,
obviously the bridge is
well, it's not just the
one.
bridge. I mean, just Realtor.com came out with the figures for the least affordable states in the country. Rhode Island is #1 now. And for the same reason why you can buy an 85-inch TV for $600 now is because the Rhode Island legislature has never tried to make them affordable and accessible. That's why anything they seem to touch, they make worse. And the record itself is just such a target.
That's the legislature. Aaron, I want you to go after McKee this way. What are you going to hit him with?
I would hit him with the affordability issue. I mean, he's driving the party. I mean, you're the governor. You have
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the bridge? Or,
Well, the bridge, of course,
the
that
bridge.
is mostly the bridge. I
Yeah.
mean, we have half of our state is separated from the other. I mean, if you're coming back from, it adds 45 minutes to your ride on any afternoon. It's crazy. Imagine the amount of hours in a year that you lose with your family, making money in other jobs. How many? A lot of people have second jobs. They can't get to their second jobs at rush hour.
Right. And how about finally Helena Folks? Should she prevail against the governor?
Well, Helena Folks has a history, kind of a jaded history with her business practices with CVS and a number of other things that a lot of people are, on both sides seem to be upset about because the Democrats are hitting her pretty hard on that. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I'm sure that we're going to ramp up pretty much right after the convention with the endorsements, and as we go in towards the primary, you're going to see more and more rhetoric. All
right, finally, let's talk about President Trump. You bring his name up; it's very controversial. I've only got Dan. How much? About a minute left here. Well, I have 1 minute left, so keep it tight if you can. Is he a liability to bring up in Rhode Island for you?
Well, when you look at what's happening, not so much. I mean, we're seeing the economy is out of control. We see it's great. We see that places like Electric Boat is going to add 8,000 new workers for Rhode Island.
Yes.
I mean, he's right now, Donald Trump is the highest new employer of the whole state.
Right.
I mean, how do you hate that?
Stock market's up, 401ks are up, inflation is a nagging problem.
Yeah.
And gas is a problem.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be, I think that's going to be temporary when we see this issue in Iran straighten out.
Okay. Allyn, thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming. Nice to meet you.
It's really nice.
Very good.
Thank you, Gene.
That's Allyn Meyers. 10 News Conference, your #1 longest running political show in Southern New England. At some point, we hope to get the Democrat who has Allyn's job on that side. If she ever returns phone calls, we'll do that. I'm Gene Valicenti. Have a great weekend.